Greetings, everybody! Welcome to the Dracovin Empire! Are you ready to dive back into the world of Golarion, the setting for the Pathfinder role-playing game system? I hope you are, because we aren't technically heading to Golarion today. No, we're heading into the great beyond, to the outer rifts, to a realm nearby. We're going to be meeting Qlippoth. So if you're ready to dive in and learn about these creatures, these alien beings from beyond the stars. No, they're not quite super alien beings from beyond the stars, from the outer rifts, these strange monstrosities from the outer rifts. We'll learn about it. Anyway, I'm going to be your host and guide here today, Pathinder. I'm going to be opening up our portal, our gateway through time and space in the universe to Golarion. And if you're ready to go, grab my hand. I'll reach out to you, take your hand, and lead you. Do remember, of course, to give a little bit of support here by over on the YouTube side of things, like subscribing, ringing the bell, and letting me know in the comments your experience with this. I will have fought them and used them in various ways. But we'll talk about it. But for now, the gate awaits. My hand outstretched, and Golarion. This time I should say the outer rifts. We go. We arrived! Now if I was doing a look into Qlippoth, and their lore, more than just their stats, because, honestly speaking, any of the bestiaries from 1st edition, 2nd edition, and Monster Core have Qlippoths in them. So Qlippoths are a thing that have existed through 1st, 2nd edition, and the Remaster Project. They're very similar in all of those. We're not worrying too much about, like, changes of lore with the Remaster Project. A few things we'll talk about. But yes. But anyway, sources. Hey, there are actually a lot of books that speak about lore on the Qlippoths. And yes, most of this is repeated, but we can start with The Great Beyond, A Guide to the Multiverse from 1st edition, and in similar speaking, The Lords of Chaos, Book of the Damned Volume 2. Both of them came out in 2009 and 2010 respectively. From the Shattered Star Adventure Path in 2012, Beyond the Doomsday Door. That actually has an entire section that talks about it. If we want to talk about something a bit more recent, in 2018 we had Planar Adventures. We're talking about 2nd edition. And of course Monster Core, which just came out now. So those are two more recent books. We do have the older books that deal with a lot of stuff with Qlippoth and establishing them. And these are the sources I would recommend if you want to do even more research and research into types. But again, we're going to talk about specific types. I'm not going to go into detail about it. I probably might not go into detail about it ever, because there's not a whole lot about lore about these things here. But, you know, these will have information in those types. Let's discuss it. And here is a type of Qlippoth. Yes! Isn't it pleasant? We'll be talking about all of them. But there's this Synthagot. Demons. You would think that they are the first inhabitant of the Outer Rifts. They were not. The earliest prehistory of the Great Beyond, before humanity rose from barbarism, before Asmodeus created hell, before the deities began to pay attention to the world of Golarion, before mortals were even around, the Outer Rifts were populated by the primordial Qlippoths. These beings are born from the essence of the Outer Rift itself, inhuman monstrosities of pure chaos and malice. So these are things more ancient than mortal life. Here we have another Qlippoth. Isn't he pleasant? This one's our good friend here, the Golarion, the Brood Qlippoth. Previous one was the Spore. They have great names, don't they? Great names. And where do the Qlippoths come from? If we turn to the Proteans, the first inhabitants of the outer spheres, the Qlippoth already existed when the Outer Rifts first opened to the rest of the Great Beyond. So basically, the outer spheres being the outer realms, you know, the outer planes, you could almost call them. The Proteans, those first beings that existed between them. Again, Proteans are in the Remaster Project, so we've still got there. A little bit of lore change, but we'll talk about them on their own at some point. Qlippoths were already in the outer rifts. They were the inhabitants of this place, when it kind of connected with the multiverse. Upon discovering them, the Proteans were interested in the Qlippoths, and that led to a war that spread to the outer rifts and the Maelstrom itself. The conflict distracted the chaotic Proteans to such a degree that order began to assert itself throughout the great beyond, leading to the formation of the other outer planes. Basically, that's the entire deal. It's all outer planes of chaos. The Proteans were in charge of it. Order came in. We get our more ordered and our more chaotic planes. The balance of basically kind of like the alignments, the different directions and planes and stuff like that. That's the Protean rule kind of thing. And it's basically the battle against the Qlippoths that led to it. We just find this thing, and they aren't pleasant. First, mortal souls were judged by Pharazôn. Some were sent to the Outer Rifts to become larvae, which accumulated the Outer Rifts in vast numbers. An ancient and now forgotten apocalypse rider, a daemon, who was fascinated by the Qlippoth and kept many in his realm, had the idea of combining a larva and a Qlippoth. And from his creations, first demon. Yeah. Basically, demons based on mortal souls, the invention of mortal sin, and demonic life led to demons forming. The ultimate opponent of all. Granted, this is old lore, and if you just look at how it tells it in Monster Core, it doesn't go into details of it, but it just is, as mortal sin rose, as demons, basically demonic life happened to the mortal outer rifts that are connected with mortal sin, mortal souls going there, becoming larvae, which was seemingly more of a natural process. Anyway, the first transformation into a daemon basically was felt by the outer rifts, and then millions of larvae became demons in an instant. And they declared war on the Qlippoth. And the battle between the two heated up. Massive battle, which resulted in the victory of demons in a lot of ways. An endless war, basically, against them. Effectively, the demons had endless numbers. The Qlippoth were more powerful in a lot of ways, but the demons and their numbers and their ability to constantly get more of them drove the Qlippoth to the deepest reaches of the Outer Rifts. They lost a lot of their realms, lost a lot of their power, were fought back against. Eons of war between the two of them. And the Qlippoths, the rightful rulers of the Outer Rifts as they see themselves, basically driven away. This ancient, brutal war, which is demon war. The Qlippoth had their power, but endless hordes, the more mortals with sin that came to the Outer Rifts, the more demons showed up. Numbers is what won them. Doesn't mean the Qlippoth don't have their parts of the Outer Rifts that they control. They do. They just lost them. Now this is a Qlippoth Lord. And this is particular here, I'm going to butcher this name, Anonarius. It looks pretty normal in comparison to most Qlippoth Lords, but this is the only one that I have really good art of. Similar to Demon Lords, Qlippoth Lords are powerful and unique Qlippoth that once ruled the Outer Rifts. These were the beings. Like there are Demon Lords that rule the Outer Rifts now, Qlippoth Lords did before. And they've lost a lot of their power. So, where they once were comparable to something like akin to demigods, like many Demon Lords are now, they're more comparable to nascent Demon Lords, lesser Demon Lords. In the very depths of the Outer Rifts, there still may be some Qlippoth Lords that match the power of demigods, but again, it's like they're deep buried there. That's where they kind of exist at. And the thing is, the number of living Qlippoth Lords continues to dwindle. They've existed since the dawn of creation, and most have been destroyed by gods, archdevils, demon lords, ephemeral lords. Basically, all of them hate the Qlippoth Lords and would see an excuse to destroy them. Go figure. Now, there are some known ones, whether they are alive or not is not near. There's our good friend here, Anonarius, Chazavug, Bowls, Ispeth Un Voon. I'm going to butcher these. Don't mind me butchering them. I'm trying. New Og, Olar Shigareb, Sukachu, that's a neat one, Yamasoth, Sukachu, Thuschun. And then, of course, the possible Qlippoth, which some scholars think is, because it's associated with Qlippoths, and it originally came from the Outer Rifts, Rovagug. Now, Rovagug is a god. Rovagug is imprisoned. Rovagug wants to end everything. But is Rovagug the most powerful Qlippoth ever? Is it just like a god of Qlippoths? Is it just happened to originate in a similar region to Rift Qlippoths? Now, before we end here, some Qlippoth Lords basically were jealous of demons' power and found to transform themselves. Basically, they took mortal souls and fused them into antediluvian bodies and became demon lords themselves. They found a way to transform from Qlippoth Lords to demon lords, and therefore have retained some level of power. They exist today and are generally least anthropomorphic of their brethren. Many of them are quite monstrous. There are, of course, 6 we know of, though one either has a new name or is no longer exists. Here's where the remaster project comes in. The 5 of the 6 names that I have here that are probably still exist are Sithvung, Marmez, Yedorethus, Zebgabazev. God, these names are... These are names. And of course, Dagon. Dagon also being a demon lord in Dungeons & Dragons, but because Dagon is a name that comes from Lovecraftian stuff, that's why I can still use. The only name that probably will change that we don't know is Jublix. Jublix, who was a demon lord, is a Qlippoth Lord into a demon lord that once oozes a monstrous poisonous slaw. Again, we haven't updated on that one, but the probably canon's changed. Is it Jublix now, the slime monster? Is it got a new name? Does it not exist anymore? We don't know. But in the old lore, it was a Qlippoth Lord demon. So just keep that in mind. You can still probably use it if you want in your own games. It's not going to be in published works. If it's something, it's going to be changed. We haven't had a change. Okay. Now that we know that, let's talk about Qlippoth a little bit. So, they're enemies of everyone! Go figure, you know? Everybody hates them. They're enemies of everyone. If a portal opens to the Outer Rifts, they swarmed through in massive numbers to prey on anything nearby. Only demons stopped them from being such a plague. That forgotten Apocalypse Rider, who made the first demon, didn't really have the well-being of the great beyond in mind. He just wanted to do something he thought was cool. But creating demons basically was the best thing. Qlippoths were a menace. Demons are a menace too. They're less of a menace. Demons are less of a menace than Qlippoths, so it's been helpful. So demonic distraction basically turned the Qlippoths away from the rest of reality. They hate everything, they want to destroy everything, prey on everything. Demons aren't so bad in comparison. So yes, the Qlippoths want to have revenge on demonkind, they want to take revenge on daemons, their list of revenge and hate goes on. But, the plan. Their plan isn't to go fight directly against the demons. Oh, no. That's a war they can't win right now. They've learned their lesson. Numbers are important. They can't win that numbers game. Instead, they're going to starve every demon to death by destroying all mortals. Yep. Let's kill all the mortals. No more mortals means you'll have finite numbers. We'll be able to deal with you. Thumbs up. That, or they can transform mortals into beings incapable of judging right and wrong, which, then they can't be judged in the afterlife, because most mortals consider that worse than the afterlife then awaits them. Because if they go to Pharasma's corpse, they can't be judged, and prevents them from being assigned to planes where they become fiends, and thus the Outer Rifts of sinners, which new demons would be created, they wouldn't. Hey, you can't judge right from wrong now. You don't understand that. You can't be judged and sent there because you don't know anymore. You'll end up somewhere else. Fun times. We still have Qlippoth influence in the universe. Because at the point of creation, the changes wrought shattered parts of the old Qlippoth rule of Outer Rifts. Basically, this change, the Outer Rifts attaching to everything else, parts of it flew. These fragments of plane are known as Qlippoth Runestones, and they are fragments of plane. They hurtled through the planes. Most were destroyed by basically connecting up with environments they couldn't survive in, or drifted through the astral plane or dark tapestry. But some have hit planets in the universe. Golarion has at very least had one Qlippoth runestone enter its atmosphere, breaking up and scattering across the globe, burying deep underground in tracts of wilderness, hidden. And they're edifices that are strange rocks, with only a few feet wide towering megaliths. And they're marred by obscure runes connected to the proto-demons. They radiate an order of apathy that repels all thinking beings and poisons the land around them. Mutates wildlife, creates hideous nightmare illusions, or possibly even portals to the outer rifts, deep places where Qlippoths can become. And this can help Qlippoths slip between the dimensions of the universe to near a runestone. Not as big as the old rifts opening up invasions, but still, they can still show up. Should a runestone be exposed, this chunk of plane? Oh, and I did mean to introduce you to our good friend here, the Thulagant. Isn't he pleasant? Hi. So, there are some records of mass Qlippoth activity in the universe that exists in a outer outer rift, the easiest way to say it, on Golarion. TNZ during the Age of Monsters. A host of angels, archons, azatas, agathons warred against the horrors of the outer rifts and drove them back. They were able to close it, so Celestials founded Tianjing to guard the Qlippoth incursions. This realm is ruled by Imperium descendants who consider them visions. In 44 IC, the Battle of Bloodsworn, waged at Chidango between Mountain Yagwai and his Qlippoth allies against the dragon siblings of Yixing, and in the depths of Owlin and the Forest Dragon symbol. So, TNZ has seen some Qlippoth activity. And not as well in Tianjin. Hey, it still has that rift. And they had centuries of coddling as a client state on law. The Imperiums grew lax in guarding the abyssal rifts. The nation found itself adrift in the wake of long lost collapse and only recently recovered. But Qlippoth incursions have had some resurgence. They don't have the numbers they used to be, but hey, it's an opportunity. Go kill all the mortals, invade the world, do what their job is, start whittling down the demons. So the Imperiums are worrying about a larger raid, invasion, from that deep rift. And also, if we go to Quadrant, an unusual number of Qlippoths are known to dwell in the Marav jungle, in further reaches from the inner sea. This is also an area that resulted in Qlippoth-spawned Cambions, known as motherless Cambions. You'll see my Qlippoth Cambion Nephilim episodes to kind of get on that. Alright, we can talk about the types of Qlippoth, because, hey, and this is the final one. I showed off pictures of all the ones that are in Monster Tour. This is an Agnagoth. Those were the ones that are in Monster Tour. But they aren't the only Qlippoth types. There are others to discuss, and we can, generally speaking, go over some of them. Just so you have an idea about the Qlippoth families and stuff like that. So, yep. It's more than just those. So, there's Bahirian, Hatabiligion, Chernobyl, Sithangot, Dino Othtis, Golarion, Goros, Hydragon, half the Pokemon? Lothos we'll mention in a second here. Nyogoth, Shogati, Thorgoth, Fulgent, Uktukku. Those are all the first mission ones. Some of these have appeared more than the ones I've shown here in second edition, but they would be kind of considered more legacy at this point in time. The Chernobyl was in second edition beforehand. Golarion, I think, is another one. Nygoth there. Shogati. these names. None of the Golarion are talking about. So yeah, some of these are legacy now. High Dragon was apparently in Bestiary 6. Huh. Monsters eel-like, gaping, a fanged mouth, and lolls a long red tongue that splits with 3 tendrils, 2 of which wield weapons. It's an eel monster with a tongue weapons? What the hell? Anyway, Thavos are basically the top tier Qlippoth. So, similar to how there is top tier demons and devils. Basically, aka the CR20 ones. That you can keep in mind. Which I don't know what they're called now. Nesserai is, I think, the one that's in Devils. And I believe there is one for Nesserai, which were pit fiends. And Shamasanian, maybe? No, that's Mutilation Demon. They're close. Oh, there's the Death Demon. Maybe that's the one. Sorry. This is me. Oh yeah, the Death Demon. The, Rollicop. Those are basically the CR20 top tier. These are things that appear in Monster Core. For Qlippoth, we don't have that currently in the remaster project, but that was the Levathos, which was a colossal, immense furry creature, almost looked like, with 4 bat-like wings, a spiritual body, red eyes, and 2 huge claws that dangle below, and just changed things into Qlippoths, or kind of mutated them. Basically, yeah, changed you into its minions and kind of things like that, or just did other horrible things to you. It was pretty nasty. But again, like, that's first edition, so I don't know how much they've changed that in second edition, but I did want to mention it when we're talking about the types. We encountered those in the game. It was fun. But anyway, that's it for Qlippoths! We've learned all about them! I thought about starting with things like the demons, devils, daemons, which are very traditional, but I gotta be honest, Qlippoth are weird and alien and very different, and they are a type of outsider you have. And there are ones that, you notice, they don't really suffer from the remaster project, because they're a uniquely Pathfinder thing. Granted, you know, their lore has evolved and changed a little bit, I think, from originally how it was, but it's fairly similar to what it was. So you might see some differences, especially, but keep that in mind that it's mostly the same when it comes to Qlippoths, and they are, you know, pretty dead. And I've joked about them being called Qlippoths before. Look, it's Qlippoth, clip art, ha ha ha, I'm giving you that joke. Thumbs up. I hope you did enjoy learning about them, though, and they're interesting creatures. As I said, I've had some encounters in various games. I've had games where they've been used in some of the adventure paths that I've run. And I actually played in a game a Qlippoth champion. A Qlippoth spawn. I was pretty monstrous and alien and weird in a lot of ways. It was an interesting character to play. But yeah, that was my mythic character. He's a Qlippoth spawn. Okay. Anyway, hey, let me know if you had encounters with Qlippoths in the comments below. That's when you like, subscribe, ring the bell over on the YouTube side of things, which you can please do as we head out today. Hey, I'm interested. Have you encountered any in your Pathfinder games? Fought against them? Had anything related to them? I'm curious, because they are so alien and weird and interesting. I love the pictures and art of them. They're just so out there. Please do remember, after that, to go check out my stuff on other things. The schedule for that's up on social media. That's my YouTube side of things, which, of course, you know, the schedule is up there. That's all my tabletop stuff. And my Twitch side of things, that's where I record and do a lot of my tabletop stuff, which ends up on the YouTube side of things. I also do variety gaming. I also play games with friends. I also have live plays of things. I'm discussing tabletop, which is Saturdays at 6, where you can hear news of the tabletop world and more. Remember to go check those out. Social media, Discord, Blue Sky, Twitter/X. Great places to check those out. Get a schedule, get updates, what's going on, all that information. Thumbs up. That's the also order of how much I use them. I'm mostly on my Discord, but I'll occasionally pop in there too. Anyway, and cat pics. Everybody cat pics. I'm gonna get going. Hope you enjoyed today. Hope you have a good day. And until the next time we talk about tabletop, dive into this, maybe learn about some of the other out-of-plane things, and maybe, hey, something related to Qlippoth I can find enough to dive into it and talk about. I don't know. Maybe there will be a revisit to something Qlippoth related someday in the future. You know? We'll find out. But until that next time, I bid all of you out there a deep and wonderful farewell.